Daily drama, real tea, no filters, just mic drop daily. Don't forget to subscribe. Close the door and grab a seat because what's bubbling in the streets right now might just shake your soul. The whispers are getting louder and people think they finally cracked the mystery behind how Diddy allegedly got HIV. And the name popping up? None other than influencer Gina. Yup, word is that she and Diddy had a thing way back and folks are now saying she might have been the one to pass it to him. Wild, right? Every time it seems like the chaos surrounding Diddy can't go any deeper, boom! Another piece hits the net. And this Gina situation? It's not just drama. It might blow the whole story wide open again. So how did Gina even get linked to Diddy in the first place, and who else could have gotten caught in this messy web? Let's get into it. Now, it might seem shocking that Gina's name is even being brought up in all this, but honestly, it's not that surprising. She's one of the very few influencers who openly talked about living with HIV without hiding behind shame or fear.
We stand. I don't know how long we've been here, but yeah, I got here probably about 20 minutes before you. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Push through those legs. Come on, push. Stand up. Push through those legs. Come on, do it. Push those legs.
Back in 2022, she took to social media and revealed her truth. She didn't even know she had HIV until it had progressed to AIDS because she went untreated for years. She dropped a bombshell saying, "All I know is that because I was so sick to the point of death, they said I had to have it for 8 to 10 years. And during that time, she was homeless, living on the streets of New York City, and she also admitted to being essayed a few times, though she made it clear she didn't want to revisit those dark memories. That New York detail? Keep that locked in. We're coming back to it real soon. Ever since she came forward, Gina's been sharing updates about her journey with the virus. And she's been fighting hard to bounce back. One major milestone? Her weight gain. She shared that when she first went public, she was just 65 pounds, but now she proudly announced she's crossed the 100-pound mark. Gina said, "So last y'all heard I was 98 pounds, right? Well, I am now 105 pounds, baby. I freaking made it." Then she joked that the doctor said she was 106, but she subtracted a pound for her clothes. Girl is finally turning things around, and the streets are paying close attention. And her shoes, too. Even if it was 106 pounds, Gina was like, "I made it." That was her goal weight, and she hit it. She's even back to walking on her own now and seems to be doing way better than before. But how does this all circle back to Diddy? Oh, buckle up, because this part gets messy. Word on the streets is that Diddy himself allegedly has HIV, and here's the twist. Some people now believe he might have actually been the one who passed it to Gina. Yeah, that theory's floating heavy right now, and it's got people scrambling for receipts. The whispers got even louder once Diddy ended up behind bars. See, when he was a free man, he had top-tier doctors on speed dial. With that kind of medical help, keeping his viral load low would have been easy. So low that he still looked perfectly healthy. Sure, folks had been gossiping before, but no one really gave it much thought because Diddy stayed looking polished and unbothered. But let's be real, considering everything we've heard about Diddy's lifestyle, it wouldn't exactly be shocking if he allegedly caught something. His infamous freak-offs? They're the stuff of twisted legend, and not in a fun way. Word is those wild sessions were packed with risky behavior, zero rules, no limits, and let's just say protection wasn't always on the guest list. People who witnessed or heard about these freak-offs say STIs and STDs were being passed around like candy at a block party. And it doesn't stop there. Don't forget the old rumors that Diddy allegedly gave Usher herpes, so yeah, hearing his name tied to HIV doesn't seem too far-fetched anymore. Now here's where it hits hard. Once Diddy got locked up and no longer had those elite doctors to keep things under control, people started to notice changes. As soon as the trial kicked off, fans couldn't ignore how different he looked. That usual big boss energy? Gone. The flashy aura, the unstoppable swagger that used to light up every red carpet or sidewalk, nowhere to be found. Instead, he looked smaller, older, worn out, like reality finally caught up and knocked the wind out of him. And nah, this wasn't just your regular stress weight drop. This felt way deeper. Something was off, and people could feel it. At first, most folks tried to play it safe, saying it was probably just the pressure. I mean, with all the legal drama Diddy's caught up in, anyone would be shaken, especially someone who's been living in pure luxury for decades. But the way he looked? It didn't scream stress, it screamed something else. The glow, the confidence, the power aura, it all seemed to vanish overnight. And once that shine faded, people really started talking. It wasn't long before the whispers turned into serious chatter. Oh, and then full-blown theories hit the timeline like wildfire. People weren't just saying he looked tired or out of place. They were saying this felt medical, like something serious was brewing beneath the surface. And quickly, one theory started dominating the conversation. Diddy might be fighting HIV, and when those courtroom sketches dropped, that theory caught fire. Social media turned into a microscope. Users zoomed in and picked apart every single detail from the sketches: his hollowed cheeks, the heavy bags under his eyes, that drained vibe he carried. People started matching those images with older pics, and the change? Clear as day. Gone was that unstoppable, larger-than-life Diddy. What we saw now looked like a man struggling to hold himself together. Even courtroom insiders started chiming in. Reporters who were actually in the room described him as off, not just mentally worn down, but physically moving slow, like he was dragging himself through the day. It wasn't just fans speculating anymore. It became a legit discussion all over the internet. What's really going on with Diddy? And girl, when I say the internet exploded, I mean it was straight chaos. Timelines flooded with comparisons, clips, close-ups, and theories stacked on top of theories. People weren't just curious, they were concerned. It was no longer just about drama or downfall. It was about what secrets Diddy might really be hiding beneath the surface. People weren't just whispering about Diddy doing dirt behind the scenes. The real bombshell hit when folks started saying he might have exposed other celebs to HIV during those wild, no-rules freak-offs. And once that rumor hit the streets, everything turned messy, like seriously messy. Because let's be real, the alleged guest list for those parties? It's long and stacked with major names in the industry. We're talking about folks with real power, real fame, and once people started playing connect the dots, it felt like a time bomb ticking, just waiting to go off. This wasn't just a Diddy thing anymore. The questions got bigger, way bigger. Who else was in those rooms? Who got down at those parties? And most importantly, who might have walked away with more than just secrets? The thing is, Hollywood already has that reputation. You know what I mean? Everybody's linked to everybody at some point. The lines between friend, partner, and hookup get real blurry out there. So if even a tiny piece of these rumors turns out to be true, the ripple effect would be massive. People started digging deeper, not just into Diddy's health, but into the honesty and safety of other major celebs tied to him. And then came Jaguar Wright, and baby, she poured gasoline straight on the fire. She didn't just echo what folks were speculating, she took it to another level. Jaguar said Diddy's been living with HIV for a long time and that he's far from alone. According to her, there are allegedly at least 20 other men in the industry dealing with the exact same diagnosis. That statement, it broke the internet wide open. People went into detective mode, pulling up old red carpet clips, podcast interviews, paparazzi shots, watching everything again with brand new eyes. Suddenly, that weird moment from an old video or that strange comment in a podcast wasn't just drama, it was evidence. People were like, wait, was he trying to tell us something back then? And one line echoed loud through social media. He actually caught HIV. Like having a lot of women. That sentence alone had timelines frozen. Now, everybody's watching and waiting, wondering how deep this thing really goes. After that, the internet went full CSI mode. The rumors exploded, and people wasted no time digging into Diddy's past. Every relationship, every close connection, every name that's ever been linked to him. The question on everyone's mind, who else could be wrapped up in this wild situation? And one name kept coming up again and again, Usher. Fans immediately brought back the old stories about how Usher lived with Diddy as a teen. Yup, you read that right. That whole mentorship story from back in the day suddenly had folks giving it a second look, especially now with these HIV allegations floating around. All those unanswered questions from years ago, they just came crashing back like a tidal wave. But it didn't stop with Usher. Other names started getting dragged into the mix. Meek Mill got pulled in too, mainly because of how often he's been spotted with Diddy over the years. Their bond raised a few eyebrows before, but now? The speculation is louder than ever. And then Craig Mack. He passed away in 2018, and the official story was heart failure. But with all this swirling around now, fans started questioning if that was really the full truth. Could there have been something else behind his sudden passing? Even Kim Porter wasn't off limits. Her death was ruled as pneumonia, but people have never been satisfied with that explanation. Conspiracy theories around her death have been floating since day one, and this latest HIV chatter just gave it a whole new twist. But the one name nobody expected to be brought back into the center of it all? Gina. Remember what she said about catching HIV in New York? Well, she recently confirmed that the man who gave it to her was a popular celebrity based in NYC, someone who lives a certain flashy, high-profile kind of lifestyle. And tell me, who fits that description better than Diddy? According to reports, Gina said she's sure the man who passed it to her is someone she had been on and off with for years. She even admitted she had feelings for him. It wasn't just a hookup. There was history there. Apparently someone she knew tipped her off about an interview that this unnamed celeb did. And after watching it, she started connecting the dots all over again. She told folks she even had run-ins with the cops over this guy because of his behavior. And something he said in that interview reawakened suspicions about how she really contracted the virus. This wasn't just speculation anymore, it was personal. And honestly, with everything stacking up against Diddy, the lawsuits, the wild party stories, the claims that he's been hiding his STI status for years, it's not even surprising anymore. Let's not forget those long-standing rumors that he allegedly gave Usher herpes. So when folks say he might have done the same thing to Gina, it's shocking, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense now. The puzzle pieces are starting to fit, and people are finally connecting the dots. This story is far from over, so stay locked in. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video so nobody misses what's coming next. It's getting real!